Since I have had my blog for 11, going on 12 years, what? I've had my life online for so long now. And with that comes many misconceptions, and I'm gonna break them all down so hopefully you know a little bit more truth about me. I'm Juli Bauer, Roth, the food, fitness, and lifestyle blogger behind PaleOMG. Welcome to my channel. I'm here to share my favorite food, workout, and wellness tips to help you live your best damn life. Today we're gonna chat misconceptions. So I've had my blog for a really long time now, and many people think they know me very well. They have ideas in their head about who I am. And I really like to think big picture on this, because who's to say they aren't correct? Because that's their idea of truth, and I have my own ideas of truth. Okay, let me explain. So I think about fights that I have. Say I had a fight with a family member recently. When I think about who is right in this moment, it's really hard for me to say that. So I think I'm right. She thinks she's right. So who's actually right? Because we're all living in our own reality. You know, I could have a twin sister and we could be going through life the exact same. We have the same parents, we have the same room, we go to the same school, same house, same friends, whatever. And we are perceiving the world completely different because we're two completely different beings. And so I think about that a lot when someone, say, cuts you off in traffic and you're super pissed because you're like, that was wrong, that was not okay. And you're honking at them, you pull up beside them, you're like, what the fuck? And they're looking at you like, what are you talking about? What's happening? They, for whatever reason, didn't perceive what they did as wrong. Maybe they didn't see you. Maybe they don't think they're cutting too close to you. Maybe they just don't care. So they're like, I'm not in the wrong because I don't care. So who is right in this situation? Obviously you think yourself is right, because you're like, you cut me off, you could have caused an accident, but they think they're right for doing whatever they wanted to do. So who is right? Huh? It's hard to say. Rewinding. I have been online for so long and people have judged in all kinds of capacities because that's what we do. We are judgmental people no matter what. We judge even if we question ourselves and we're like, hey, back up, bitch. You are in the wrong. It's so easy to simply judge someone, to assume something, and to have misconceptions about a person. No matter how much we follow them online, it's really hard to know what a person is actually like, what their day-to-day is like, what their upbringing was like. And so it's really easy to jump to conclusions and make assumptions about a person. So when I saw someone do this on Instagram recently, they shared what misconceptions people had about them. I was like, oh, that would be so fun to do myself. So let's get into it. Let's talk about a few misconceptions. Number one, people I think I'm an extrovert. And I think most of us have some sort of extrovert and introvert in us. There are some people who are super extrovert and there are some people who are super introvert, but I think most of us have a balance of both. And I think I'm that person as well. But I am online all the time. I'm sharing so much. I'm very open and honest all the time. I'm honest to a point that I've pissed off many people in my day, not only people who follow me, but family members, friends. I am very honest. And so it gets me into trouble a lot. And I think because of that, people think I'm very extroverted, that I get into the crowd and I want to be the center of attention all the time. And I'm really not like that. I don't like crowds. I don't like big social situations. I like only hanging out with a handful of friends. I like kind of just waiting back, watching, jumping in, but I really don't like being the center of attention at all times, and I don't want to do extremely social things on a regular basis. I like being home, in my home at all times, honestly, all times. If people want to come have dinner over here, awesome. But I'm not a person who is putting myself out there on a regular basis. It's just not what I like to do. I'm more introverted than I am extroverted. Number two, that I eat paleo because my blog is called PaleOMG, which is a complete understanding. That makes sense that you would assume that, but I haven't eaten paleo in years. I started my blog back in 2011 and I was strict paleo back then. And as I've gotten older, I started eating more gluten-free things. I started adding in dairy. I really got away from paleo. Now I have things like wheat sometimes. I have dairy on almost a daily basis. Yeah, like a daily basis. I mean, I have milk, I have cheese, I have cottage cheese. I have all kinds of different foods in my daily diet. And the main thing I pay attention to is whole foods. I'm eating lots of vegetables every single day. I'm trying to get at least 5 vegetables in a day these days. I get lots of fruit, tons of meat, lots of pastured chicken, grass-fed beef, wild caught fish. I'm getting all kinds of different protein in, and then I'm still eating the foods that make me feel good. And now it is dairy and having some sourdough toast sometimes and going out for ice cream and whatever it looks like. So I don't eat paleo anymore. And a lot of my recipes on my website now are no longer paleo because I am moving away from that and moving into just a broad range of a diet, because truly, I think my gut has been so healed over years of really fine-tuning what I should be eating and healing my gut from the inside out. And now I don't have to be strict like I used to, and I don't have to follow some perfect diet. So I just eat what feels good. I do wonder if at some point I'll change my blog name. I have no idea. That branding takes a lot of work and a lot of money, and change is always challenging. So I don't know, but at this point, I know people get pissed sometimes when it's not a paleo recipe, but just got to follow along and then you know what's going on. We're just changing, we're evolving over here. Number 3, that I played sports when I was younger, and that's why I'm so into fitness now. And no, I am incredibly clumsy. I have no coordination. Handball sports, are you kidding me? No. I have no coordination, and I just am like goofy. Like I look funny when I run. Like I'm not a coordinated person. Do I love fitness? Do I love lifting? Do I love building muscle and seeing physical change and feeling stronger? Love all those things, but they have nothing to do with younger fitness in any capacity. I really wish I would have got into fitness in any way, but I swam some on swim team in the summer, and I did a little bit of high school swim team. And I remember trying different sports. I tried soccer for a little bit. I tried track for a little bit, but I was just bad at all of them. I was like, this sucks. This is boring. Why can't I just go home and make chocolate chip pancakes? And that is what I did. That is my younger years. That's my high school experience. I remember getting a Frosty thrown at my face from a moving car called a whore, and I ate chocolate chip pancakes every day after school, sometimes Cinnabon. So sports and health weren't really my thing for a while. Number 4, that my hair is naturally brown. It is not. It is not. And I've shared this a lot on social media, but I have naturally blonde hair. I've dyed it since I was 14 or 15, and I dye it every 3 weeks on the dot. If I could go a little bit earlier, like every 2.5, I would, but my hairstyle is like, just freaking chill, Julie. Just get your roots grown out a little bit more. I just feel better brunette. I don't really know what made me want to change my hair color in the first place, but I remember changing it in high school and I loved it. And then I wanted to stick with it. And I remember trying to go back lighter in the past, and I was like, ew, I just don't like this whatsoever. So I've just stuck with brunette. I feel like I am supposed to be a brunette. My hair just hasn't gotten the point, you know? Kind of like how your hair hasn't figured it out when you've shaved it a million times in your life and it still continues to grow back. You're like, hey, can't you get the point? It's the same thing with the hair. It hasn't figured it out that it needs to grow in brunette at this point. But I am not a natural brunette. I do not have naturally brown hair. I dye it all the time. So I'm very interested to see if my daughter ends up having blonde hair. Since I'm blonde, my husband's brunette. I'm very interested to see where it's at. It's right now at a kind of auburn color, a little strawberry blonde. What's it gonna change into? When I did ayahuasca, I envisioned a toddler who had blonde pigtails. She has pigtails already, but she is not blonde, so we will see. She was probably 2 to 3 years old in this vision that I had, so we'll see if that's true. The scary thing is we were telling her she was gonna be a big sister, and I can't imagine ever having another child. So hopefully only half that vision is correct. Oh, I shouldn't say that because children are wonderful, but we got to get Brian snipped, you know, we got to get him snipped. And number 5, that I have a high metabolism. I think people think that I'm in more natural shape, that I can build muscle easily, and I cannot. My upper body, I actually can build muscle pretty quickly in it. Not like strength per se, but I can build muscle easier up there. But I have a really hard time building lower body strength, and I have to really pay attention to tracking my food to see a change in my physique. So if I want to get in shape, if I want to lean out, I have to pay really close attention at this point in my life where I'm at to tracking my food. So right now, I don't know if you're part of the postpartum period anymore. I'm like almost at 6 months after having a baby, and I'm still breastfeeding, but I track my food every single day and I make sure I'm getting enough protein in so I can build muscle and I can see physical changes. But I'm not a person who has a high metabolism. I have to pay really close attention to it, weighing and measuring my food. And if I want to see results, it takes more tracking. And I've done some intuitive eating in the past and it's been great. But for my specific goals at this time in my life, I have to track more. And I'm not a person who has a natural high metabolism. It has taken a lot of work of working out on a regular basis, eating healthy on a regular basis, making sure I'm getting enough protein in, making sure I'm getting my creatine, really consistent work to experience a change. Okay, those are the only 5 I have today. But I think this might be a fun thing to do on a regular basis. I thought about doing a question box on Instagram asking what misconceptions people have about me, but I didn't want to have my feelings hurt. So I was like, maybe I'll just start with some of the basics, and then as I think of more, I'll share those in the future. But I feel like those are 5 that you can get to know me a little bit better. When you picture me now, you may picture me as an awkward blonde. I don't know, but I wanted you to get to know me a little bit more. But if you have any other misconceptions you think I should break down and tell you maybe you are completely correct, let me know in the comment section below. And I'm gonna go play with my strawberry blonde little baby and her pigtails. But don't forget, if you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see even more videos in the future. And I have a couple more coming up that I think you're gonna like, so stay tuned.